Sometimes we can get a little stuck, which then leaves us wondering as to what to do. We kind of find ourselves just doing things for the sake of doing them without having any real direction whatsoever. We feel like we just exist without having any actual meaning. Whenever that happens, we have to remember something very important. Everything that was ever invented was either done by trial and error or by accident. It was just a bunch of people trying to figure something out, sometimes not even knowing what they were actually trying to discover. They were just trying, which means you can also start without actually knowing how. You just have to start, because that is the only sure way to find yourself again.
Why do you keep stopping yourself from starting? You don't need to know how to do it, you just need to start. Because starting is the only and the most important thing. Don't get caught up in the whole, analysis paralysis, trying to figure out the best way to start, the best way to do things, trying to buy the best equipment, trying to find the best shoes, the best this, best that. Just get into it with what you have right now. And if the thing that you are trying to get into does require some form of investment, just buy something cheap. Just go entry level. There is no point in you buying the most expensive, the best things when you're just a beginner, because it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have, you're going to be bad anyway. And there is nothing wrong with being bad, by the way. That's just how it is. Truth is, you might spend hours and hours and hours researching something and obviously learning about it. And yes, not all of that will be wasted, but some of it will. And that's because you actually need practice and you need some form of experience. Because as you're doing it, you're going to figure things out. You're going to figure what you like, what you don't like, how you do certain things. Maybe you were looking at buying certain shoes for running and you went and bought some, and you bought some which are very, very soft. But actually, because of your ankles, knees, whatever it may be, you actually needed something of a bit of a harder sole. But you didn't know that, because the only thing you had was knowledge based on what other people said, rather than having your own experience and knowledge from actually doing. When in reality, you could have got into running with just any old pair of trainers you have and then bought something as you go along. Don't get me wrong, researching and looking at things is not a bad thing at all. It shows initiative and it shows you care and it shows you want to try, which is excellent. But you can't forget the previous points I said, is that you still require some form of experience yourself. So it might be worth looking into something on a base level, just to kind of see the ins and outs, just figure a few things out, maybe get yourself familiar, and then just get stuck in. Because after actually getting into the nitty gritty, that is when you will see improvements, and that is when you know when to look. Because as good as knowledge is, it will never be useful until you can put it into practice. How should you get started in choosing something? Well, for me, it's all about experimentation. Just have a go at different things, see how it feels. You might like it, you might not. The most important thing is that you've tried. It might take some time, it might be immediate, but you will be able to feel it out yourself. An example for me will be modelling. When I first started, I was terrible, I was not good at what I was doing, I needed pointers and direction all the time. But in time, as I did it more often, as I looked into it more, as I looked at tutorials, as I spoke with people, as I looked at images, and I studied it, I got better and better and better. I'm certainly no professional. I wouldn't even class myself as good. I'm simply a novice. But even though I'm a novice, I know I've come very far from when I've started. And you can too, in whatever it is that you want to try. Because there are so many things out there for us to learn and experience. The list is endless, and you can pick whatever you want. As you're doing things, as you're learning about yourself, you're going to see and notice the things that stick and the things that you genuinely enjoy. When you do come to practice something, you will notice that whether you're good or bad at it, you are enjoying yourself. You've always got a smile on your face. You always look forward to doing it again, learning something new, developing a skill, improving. You just look forward to those feelings, that real hit of dopamine, of achieving something they haven't done yet before. You might try some things and they might be for you. You might love them. However, your current situation and lifestyle simply don't allow for them. But that's not a problem, because you can always come back. I tried getting into MMA. I did it for a month and a half, but because it was on so late, I couldn't keep up with it because I have to be up so early throughout the week and all the things that I have to do. I simply couldn't carry on. But that's alright, because when the time comes, when my situation does change, I know I'll be able to get back into it. However, right now is not the time. But for the future, I know that I can come back to something I genuinely love doing. And it might be the same for you. Just because something isn't right for you now, it doesn't mean you can't come back to it at another time.
So what happens when we choose the wrong thing? Well, I don't really believe there's such a thing as the wrong thing, because regardless of what we do, we're going to take those experiences and learn from them. Because when we go forward, the more things we do, the more things we learn about ourselves, about the things we like and don't like, about the people around us, about what makes us tick. So those things just add up. So when you choose wrong, so to speak, you are just learning what not to do to go forward. Obviously, nobody likes to waste time. Nobody likes to waste money, resources, energy, none of that. We don't like to waste those things. None of us do. However, just because you didn't end up enjoying yourself, it doesn't mean that it was a waste of time completely. Because, yeah, maybe you're not going to get certain things back. You're certainly not going to get your time back. However, you've learned you don't like it. And it's always better to know than to wonder. If you didn't do the thing that you just didn't enjoy just now, there's a chance you might have not actually found the things that you do enjoy right now. Because you could have gone through all that trouble to figure something out, figure something that you like, and then end up not enjoying it. Because you didn't end up where you were supposed to end up, because you never tried the first thing that you weren't going to like. And I know that's a bit of a roundabout way of, possibly thinking about it, but everything happens for a reason. And as you look at your timeline, obviously things have gone wrong, things have failed, things have backfired. However, you are where you are right now because of those past things. So when you choose wrong, you might actually be teaching yourself the correct choice in the future. Because there are things that I've done and I didn't enjoy, and I don't necessarily regret them, because, like I've mentioned before, I now know I don't like them. So I no longer need to spend any more time or energy doing these things, because I know it's just going to be a waste of time. So next time you're thinking about trying something and you're reluctant because you don't know if you're going to like it, stop wasting time, because sitting there thinking about it is already wasting time. The faster you get into it, the faster you try, the faster you're going to know. So if you want to take up gymnastics, swimming, boxing, I don't care what it is, just go straight into it. Because the chance you won't actually like it initially, but something's going to tell you to stick with it, or maybe someone is going to push you to stick with it. And then over time, you will develop a love for whatever it is that you've decided to join and start doing. However, sitting there, wondering, that's just wasting time. So just go and try. What have you got to lose?
Thank you for tuning in to this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. And if you disagree with anything that I said today, please leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you. If you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, that would mean the absolute world to me. I would really, really appreciate it. And last week we spoke about insecurities, so it might not be directly relevant to this video. However, I still think you're going to enjoy it regardless of what it is. So I'm going to leave that on the screen for you right here. So whenever you're ready, go and watch it. I hope I see you there. Thank you.